Let's go. Let's go, man. Hunt the ball. Let's go, family on three. 1, 2, 3, family.
Hello, football family. Welcome in to Huddle It Up Films, Week 17 of Alec and I on the program. Alec, no more Thursday games. Did the math. All 16 teams had one Thursday game. That's 32 teams. No more Thursday. We're picking every game this week, my friend.
Oh, man. That's true. I saw that. I know there's the Thursday game. And you know what's crazy, bro? This would be the last week of the season if we start any other year, but we got one more after this. I tell you, man, it's been a lot, but it's a lot of fun doing it with you.
Yeah, man. I thought I had a lot of fun, and you're going to be proud of me, sir. Now, I've been pumping up your record all year, so let's flash that on the screen. Mr. Alec, 124-98, 26 games above 500, picking games against the spread. This isn't just picking the winner, folks. This is gambling on the line. And my friend, but look at that. Oh, you see that up here right there?
Yeah.
That's my number, bro. That's 114 and 108 for Mr. Jason at Huddle It Up Films. I also am having success. After 3 bomb weeks, bro, I've been kicking your butt. You've been hanging. No offense to you. Like you've been doing well. I've just been like on fire for 3 weeks. So let's jump into it, man. We got a lot of games to go. Why don't you kick us off, man?
All right. Yeah, so we got Eagles at Washington football team. The Eagles are a 3.5-point favorite, and I'll take that. I like the Eagles here. I think they're just the better team. The Washington football team, I know they're getting some people back from injury and COVID, but I still just think the Eagles are the better team. They have the best running game in the league right now. So I think they'll be able to figure it out. I'm going to go with the Eagles here.
Going with the Eagles here as well. Yeah, they really figured themselves out. And we actually started to call this about a month ago, how they was like, all right, the Eagles aren't great, but they're figuring out who they are. They got that down, man, that number one rushing attack. Also, the Eagles are in the playoff race. They've won 3 in a row. Wolf has lost 3 in a row. So I'm adding it all up, 3.5 points, no problem, giving them, taking the Eagles. So this one I don't like, Alec. It's Tampa Bay at the Jets. Of course, Tampa Bay is a big favorite. They're 12.5-point favorites. The Jets have been playing better, and obviously Tampa's fighting for seeding over there in a really competitive NFC. But I still went with the Bucs. I just couldn't bring myself to take the Jets, even with all those points. I kind of like some factors, some intangible factors working for the Jets, but the talent differential, no way. Like I got to go with Tampa Bay in this one.
Yeah, I went with the Bucs too, but it wasn't an easy choice. Mainly because it's a lot of points. We can see how they can slow down, and their offense isn't as dynamic. They've got a lot of injuries now, so you could see how this could fall apart. But the Jets just aren't that good. I could definitely see interceptions being thrown, and being able to get that differential. So that's kind of what I'm betting on. I'm betting on them winning the turnover battle and just getting a couple of laps on them. Next game is really interesting to me. Dolphins at Titans. The Titans are a 3.5-point favorite. This is my lock of the week, going with the underdog, the Dolphins. I think they're going to figure out a way to beat the Titans. And I'll take the points because it could be a field goal game and I still get it. So I'm locking this one in. I just think the Dolphins are red hot right now. The Titans aren't, and it's not great for the Ravens, but I got to follow my intuition here. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Going with the Dolphins. I mean, they've won 7 straight. They've hit their stride on defense. Watching that defense when they were on TV, quite frankly, made me a little bit teary-eyed, jealous, because it's just so reminiscent of everything we see here in Baltimore. They have the talent to do it, and they're just bringing pressure. Quarterbacks look helpless. When I look at Tennessee, they really need outstanding performances from A.J. Brown to really do anything special on offense. And defensively, they have some holes. So yeah, I feel you on the lock. It's not my lock, but I really feel you on that. Feel strongly about the Dolphins plus the 3.5 points. So even if it's a field goal game, even if Tennessee wins by a field goal, we still win there with our Dolphins pick. So New England minus 16 points because the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming to town. Thought it was a misprint, but it's not a misprint. If you pick New England, they have to win by more than 16 for you to win. And guess what, man? I'm picking New England, and I'm giving the 16. You have the number 1 scoring defense against the last scoring offense. Jacksonville Jaguars, Alec, have only scored 217 points the entire season.
Hmm.
Like there's teams that score that within a 7-game stretch. We're talking the whole season. They've scored 217 points. I could see this being a shutout. I think the Patriots are going to score more than 16. If I had to pick a score, I'd say like 24-3 or 24-6. So I'm going to take the Patriots and give all 16 of those bad boys.
Yeah, I went with the Jaguars here just because I can see the way that.
Ooh.
Yeah, not because I think they're going to have any chance of winning or even keeping it competitive, but you can see how these games cannot be competitive, but the score can look a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
So I just was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. I can see the path, right? Like if they fall into the end zone twice, or even just an end zone and a field goal, that means that they put up 26 points, the Patriots do, and it's like they might not try to. They might just try to like run out the clock and get like 24. Right, like I could just see the game flows where Jaguars can get to the cover, but yeah,
okay.
It's nuts, bro. It's nuts. Raiders at Colts. The Colts are a 6.5-point favorite, and that is despite not having Wentz potentially. I don't know what the situation will be given the new COVID rules. He might be able to play,
Right.
but it's a little up in the air. Doesn't seem like I care though. I'm going with the Colts. They got Jonathan Taylor. They got Michael Pittman, and they got a good defense. So I think they can figure it out. The Raiders, as we've discussed, has gone down the tube since week 1, and they're just not the same team.
They have, but I'm picking the Raiders. We get 2 disagreements in a row. Man, yeah, I don't know what it was on this one, Alec. Like I automatically thought I was picking Indianapolis. Then I see the Wentz thing, and then I start thinking like, the Raiders really actually still have something to play for. I'm figuring that this is going to be a close game. So that's where my thoughts are coming from. I would not take the money line on the Raiders, thinking they're going to upset Indianapolis. I don't feel strongly about this game at all. But push come to shove, I'll take 6.5 points and bet that this is going to be a close game. So we'll see how that works out. I think Derek Carr, by the way, and the way that he likes to spread the ball around, get it out kind of quickly, that it's, the Colts have a very good defense, but those are the kind of quarterbacks and games that usually give, we'll take time off the clock. The Raiders are going to keep the clock moving. So not a great explanation there by yours truly, but hopefully y'all got what I meant by that. Okay. So next game, barn burner, bro. Kansas City Chiefs -5 at Cincinnati. Man, Cincinnati coming off that huge win, beatdown at the Ravens, and they're feeling themselves against the Ravens, and they are feeling themselves very heavily. The media, everybody, Joe Burrow's got something to say, and I think they're going to have a letdown in this game, and I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win by more than 5. In Cincinnati makes it a tougher choice. If it was Kansas City, I really like Mahomes and company at home, but the Bengals have had some up and down nature to them throughout the year. So I think this is going to be a down week for them and Joe Burrow. Kansas City winning by at least a touchdown.
The Bengals are deal with a lot of little brother syndrome, in my opinion, where they just think like they got to like prove to the world that they're actually good. They've never been there before. And they're good. Don't get me wrong, but they're going to get slapped in the face by the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure of it at home. So yeah, the Chiefs by 5, I agree with you. They'll win by like a touchdown or more. And the thing is too, with the Bengals, like, I was saying it on Ravens Recap, they're probably going to get the fortune of having a home playoff game, but like they might heartbreak their fans because like I think they're going to get kicked out pretty quick. I don't know. They just like I think the swagger thing isn't the best thing to necessarily have in the playoffs because you can get like too big of a ego thing going on, and if things don't go your way, I think it can shatter. It's like a glass fortress they have over there.
It's still an eternity away, man. 2 weeks, so I'll have to see before I agree with that. You know what I mean? I want to see what
I hear you. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not so sure about that team, all things considered. I mean, they've kicked our butt. Don't get me wrong, but they also had a really good matchup at least last week,
Yeah.
So anyways, next up, we got Giants at Bears. The Bears are a 5.5-point favorite. Giants are like the laughing stock of the league right now. It's a total disaster. Did you see the question they asked Saquon, by the way?
No, what happened?
Oh my God. It was like during a media day today. They asked Saquon if he wanted to like spit at or like burn down or poop the stadium. Because apparently he like tore his ACL at the Bears stadium. Like that's where the injury happened. And they were like asking like if he wanted to like get revenge on like the physical place it happened. And he was like, no. It was like a really weird. He was like, do you want to poop on the field? And he's like,
the guy actually said that. The
reporter. Yeah, it was really weird. It was like the equivalent of asking after a tough loss to Belichick, like, "Oh, what's your New Year's resolution?" And the guy was like, "Maybe I'll have an answer for you next week."
Right.
But
So anyways, who do you like in this game, fool? What's going on? Man. Chicago, New York.
Chicago, man. Chicago. I like Fields here. I mean, I don't know if Fields is going to play necessarily. I know he was limited at practice today. But even with Dalton, I like him over the Giants. The Giants are just, like I said, a mess. And the Bears defense might be able to feast with that backup quarterback.
Yeah, the Giants have lost 4 in a row. They are 1-7 on the road, going to Soldier Field. I'm taking the Bears mainly for those reasons. I don't know if Fields is playing or not. It might be the Andy Dalton or the Nick Foles show. Like, who knows what's going on up there. But I do think David Montgomery will have a good game in this game, mainly catching passes out the backfield. And I can see Mooney getting deep in this one. There's just not a lot to like about the Giants team, sadly, for that franchise. But it is what it is. And, and then they have to deal with reporters like that, I guess, looking to make a name for themselves. Pretty sad and pathetic right there. I did not know that. So Buffalo, Atlanta is coming to town. The Falcons at Buffalo, 14-point favorites. It seems really, really high, but still going with Buffalo. I just can't bring myself to pick the Falcons in this game. I tried to talk myself into it. I looked at the Falcons' road record. I'm like, all right, they're pretty good on the road. Look at their overall record. I'm like, okay, I mean, this shouldn't be a 14-point game, but I just got to believe my eyes, man. And my eyes are telling me that you go up to Orchard Park this time of year with little hope or no hope for the playoffs and really not a lot of star power. I mean, Cordarrelle Patterson is probably your best player. I like the Bills. I like Josh Allen in this matchup to get things done.
Yep, going with Bills myself. Not much more to say on top of that. Just the Bills have something to play for. The Falcons don't. The Falcons don't have that impressive, and they don't have the star power where the Bills do. I think this is a game where the Bills want to try to, flex their muscles, so to speak, see what they can do. Not to beat down the Falcons, but just to get prepared for the playoffs. It's a good opportunity for them to really just execute, despite it being a lower opponent. So I don't think they're gonna take the foot off the gas or not have the concentration. So. Next up, you got Rams at Ravens. The Rams are a 4.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with the Ravens here. And the reason is I think there's a scenario with the people coming back from COVID that they're going to be competitive. Unclear, obviously, if Lamar's going to play. I showed my believe sign because I'm hopeful, but, obviously he did not look good in the footage that leaked out, so to speak. It wasn't a leak, but you know what I mean? Just like the limited footage that was seen of him at practice, although he could be faking it. But I doubt it. I think he's probably still recovering from his injury. So even with Huntley, though, I think they could keep it close. It's just a matter of, trying to get those same turnovers, that you saw against the Vikings, the Rams, struggled. They kind of stole that game, to be frank. Just they didn't play well. I think if they have another stinker like that, if our secondary steps up, with the guys coming back from COVID, there's a chance. So go with the Ravens to cover. I mean, 4.5 is a lot at home for a team that's fighting for the playoff lives.
Okay, I'm going with the Rams. I just can't pick the Ravens on this 4-game losing streak. And, the way the past defense looks, even though the Ravens are getting people back, obviously, who aren't street free agents, who weren't with the team at any point during the year, it's still going to be tough to match up. I do see a path to victory for the Ravens, and I can't wait to talk about that on our preview show. But for the purposes of this show, if I had to make a bet, which I don't, but I do on this show, I'm taking the Rams -4.5. Wouldn't put real money on this game though, Alec, because you're talking about a 10 a.m. game, Los Angeles time. Baltimore is a tough place to play. You look at the historical home records; it shows that Baltimore fans will show up. The weather is going to be probably some cold and rainy type action here in Baltimore. So I wouldn't surprise me to see the Ravens win this game, but yeah, I'll have to take the Rams. Okay, so Houston going to San Francisco. San Francisco, 12-point favorites. Give me the Houston Texans.
Okay.
Give me the Houston Texans. You got to pick like one stinker, Alec, and this is going to be mine. Yeah, you already did, right? This is mine, dude. You know,
yeah, no,
the Houston Texans are one of the hottest teams in the league. They've won 2 in a row.
I know.
I think that qualifies as one of. I don't use it loosely, but Trey Lance, possibly his, second or third start here at home. Yeah, it's a little complicated, and for some reason, Houston looks like it's got a little fire in its belly. I'll take that fire. I'll say, San Francisco wins the game, but I think it's like into the last couple of drives of the fourth quarter.
Okay. I'm going with the 49ers here, which I kind of alluded to, but I get your rationale entirely. I definitely took a look at it because 12 points is a lot. I just like Lance here. I'm like excited for it. I really want it to happen. So I'm just trying to will it into the universe, I guess.
Me too. I can't wait to watch Lance. But yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt there. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Next up's a cool one. Broncos at Chargers. The Chargers are a 6.5-point favorite. They're getting people back from COVID too. Not everybody, but some people. I think the Broncos aren't that good at this point. I'm going with the Chargers. I just like I don't like the Broncos that much right now. The Chargers have something to play for. The Broncos really don't. So we go with the Chargers.
So you see this sly look on my face, Alex. So you know who I'm picking.
Yeah, go with it.
Going with the Fighting Fangios, bro.
The
Denver.
Fangios.
The Fighting Fangios, man. Yeah. Classless, petty, wants his opponents to show mercy on him. That is a man that you wonder why he hasn't had many chances of being a head coach despite his defensive prowess. The Fighting Fangios, yeah. So after I make fun of Vic Fangio, I'm going to tell you that I think that Denver can run the ball on this Chargers team because the Chargers' run defense is awful. Then I also look at the Chargers' strength, which is their offense. Denver's strength is their defense. I think this is a close game. This would be a money line one for me, Alec, in all seriousness. And because it's your buddy Vic Fangio, I'm going to lock it in. My show.
Oh, God.
It's my show. I can do what I want. I can do what I want.
Trying to rub it in, bro. All right.
Yeah, so the Fighting Fangios on there. I figured you'd get a kick out of that, man. Carolina at New Orleans. New Orleans are 6.5-point favorites. Easy choice for me. I'm taking New Orleans in this game. We talked about it last week, Alec. Oh, yeah, we're going to play some Cam. We're going to play some Darnold. We're just going to see what happens. That is not going to happen. And did you notice how hard New Orleans played against Miami? Like, they were overmatched.
God, so bad.
Bro, they were overmatched. They were playing, like what the Ravens were dealing with last week. But you can tell, man, there is talent in that core in New Orleans. There really, really is. You talk about O-line and defense, and I'm looking at Carolina. I'm not sure how they're going to score, especially if Lattimore mans up on DJ Moore or follows him around or whatever. Like, I really just don't see a pathway for Carolina to win this game or even be close. So I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I basically picked the Saints for the same reason, going off the defense, being able to shut down the Panthers' offense, and figuring out a way to score more than 7 points, right? Like, yeah, so I totally get it.
So next game in Dallas, marquee matchup of the week. One of them's got to be Arizona at Dallas. Dallas, 6-point favorites. Seems like a lot to give a good team like Arizona. But guess what? I'm taking the Cowboys. I feel like the role that they're on is just insurmountable compared to, especially when you take it to what the Cardinals are dealing with, which is a little bit of a crossroads of their season. They're still winning, but they just don't look great. So yeah, this is going to be fun for me to listen to your analysis of this because you've been on both teams. Well, it's a family show. I'll just say bandwagon all year. So who do you got?
Yeah, I know. I had a little bit of trouble with this one. I feel like we got a lot of deltas here, so let's keep it going. I'm going with the Cardinals, with my rationale being that 6 points is an awful lot. I could definitely see them losing this game, but I just feel like they should be able to keep it kind of close. But man, I tell you, without Hopkins, they don't look the same at all with the passing attack. And, the Cowboys look unbelievably dominant. Obviously, they had a little bit lesser of an opponent, but still just really, really good. So I don't know, man. I can definitely see it going the other way. I'm looking forward to this one. I had a hard, like I said, I was like, always said Cowboys always cover, and I was like, oh, I'm going against it. All right, man. Lions at Seahawks. Seahawks 7-point favorite. This is a little bit tough for me, but I actually did end up going with the Seahawks. I think that they'll be able to keep their distance from the Lions. They're at home, and although the Lions are really fighting, I just feel like, the Seahawks they got more talent. So I just figured for whatever reason that they were going to be able to keep the Lions far enough away from them and pull off the victory and by 7.
We're having I believe this is a record-breaking week because I'm taking the Lions. You knew I'm taking the Lions.
I don't mind it. Yeah, it's a good one. I wouldn't put money on this. I wouldn't put money on this. I did, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't advise it.
Don't be like Alec. But yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I just, again, the emotions of the team. Detroit is like proud of itself. It's like the overachiever. It's actually found out it could do it. Worked so hard for it. And then Seattle's like, hey man, I thought we were supposed to be millionaires. Now we're broke. Forget this. I'm checking out. So I'm taking the Lions in this one. And the Seahawks may be more talented, but where has it been? Like I don't know.
I hear you. That's a good valuation, man.
Okay, so the next game in Lambeau, Green Bay Packers, always going to be a favorite at Lambeau. They are 7-point favorites with the Minnesota Vikings coming to town. A lot of points, but I'm taking Green Bay. Minnesota likes playing close games, so really, this is a game that the 7 seems about right. Like I feel like Green Bay is going to win by exactly 7. I feel like it's going to be a tie, but tie goes to the Packers. Tie goes to the home team.
I think the Packers will be able to throw on the Vikings, and that's my basis of going with the 7 points here. Obviously, the Packers have a good defense, and I think I just am not a Cousins believer. I think maybe you turn around on that a little bit. I don't know. If I'm picking like Cousins versus Rodgers, I'm going with Rodgers, and I think being at home helps. All right, last matchup of the week, Monday Night Football. Browns at Steelers, potentially the last game for Big Ben at Heinz Field. Despite that, Vegas doesn't care. They're saying the Browns are a 3.5-point favorite. The damn Steelers, they have nothing to lose at this point. It's the last game for Ben. The Browns aren't that good. 3.5 points is that really nice sweet spot. Even if they lose, they might win when it comes to covering. I'm all about the Steelers here. I almost made it my lock, but I felt sacrilegious. Yeah.
Wow, man. See, I'm kind of not all about the Browns, but I like the Browns strongly. Taking them 3.5 points. When I look, who else don't care? Nick Chubb, which is my fancy way of saying the Steelers pretty much stink against the run. One of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst, by whatever metric you're looking at. And then, of course, the Browns running game. So yeah, Baker Mayfield looks terrible. But the rest of his team, I think they can just hand the ball off 40 or 45 times in this game and not lose by more than 3.5 points. So Alec, I have to count, bro. I actually have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
Oh my God, half of them.
Half of the games we disagreed on here. So we started the show with you with a 10-game lead. I said, should I pick the opposite of Alec just to catch up? And I said, no, man, you're in integrity of the game. This is Huddled It Up Films. You pick who you think's going to win. You wait for him to kick himself in the butt. And I'm hoping that you did it this week, my friend.
I won't do that many, but we got 8 points. You could catch 8 on me. It might come down to the last week, which would be really cool. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it would be. There's really no chance that I'm going 8-0 in those games. Hopefully the games we agree on, we win that. We got to win those this week, my friend. In all seriousness, we got to keep these records up by the end of the year.
Yeah, if we do, if we win out the ones that we picked, which you probably won't, but if we do, that's really solid because that means everything else is gravy. So that'll be good. Yeah, we'll figure it out, man, for sure. It'd be cool if it came down to the last one, but I promise you I won't change my picks just to
Yeah, me neither. It's not worth it.
Yeah, no, I make my picks beforehand. I lock them in on the betting site. So, it's one of those things. But yeah, man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. We got one more week to come. Thank you to our football family. Make sure you check out some of the cut-ups on the show. I had a popular cut-up this week. Alec, the Davante Adams, the way the Ravens played, Davante Adams got over 1,000 views very quickly.
Nice.
So if anybody's listening, check that out and see the unique way the Baltimore Ravens double and sometimes triple team Davante Adams to hold him to a very low game by his standards. So thank you to my football family out there. Thank you to Alec, with or without glasses, just as good looking, just as good looking.
Which on other weeks you said is not that much.
I can keep it fresh over here on the show, man. I mean, just because you're not going to work doesn't mean that I can't compliment you, man. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. It,
Alec, by the way, lost his Employee of the Year award today because he forgot that he had to go to work. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah. No, I thought that we got, for whatever reason, I thought that we got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off, but because they were, I thought they got shifted because of the weekend being New Year's Day. And I was mistaken because we had Christmas Eve and Christmas off. So I just assumed, for whatever reason, I assumed it and I was like off. And then I got a couple messages all at once, like not like looking where I was or anything, just like at the same time. I'm like, why is everyone on oh, am I not? I went and looked. I was like, oh, I guess I should have been off today. All right, I'm taking off because I have done nothing.
Nice. So if Alec's boss is watching this, which I'm sure whoever your boss is doesn't, he's lying. He's lying. He told me, he said, the heck with those guys, and just didn't show up. No. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for checking in. Alec, say goodbye to the people now.
Take care, you guys.